Most of our red wines at Waterford age in the region of about 20 months. And during this process, we do need to evaluate the wine. As time goes by, the amount of tannin that's going into your wine, the amount of oxygen going into your wine, and also the amount of flavor from the oak is going into your wine. So we do need to evaluate this. So what I would do on a regular basis, probably about once a month, run through each individual barrels and identify if there are any concerns or any things that are really doing well on the wine process. At about halfway through aging process, we would actually rack the wine. So racking would be removing the clean wine off the top, and during aging you find a lot of yeast and yeast that's been settled right to the bottom. So we would want to rack the clean wine off of this and then get the blend into a stainless steel vessel so that we can judge the entire blend in one vessel. So once the wines are racked to stainless steel, the barrels are then cleaned or removed from the aging position, and then we clean the barrels, and then we burn a little bit of a sulfur pellet inside the barrels just to make sure that everything remains sterile while we are doing the evaluation in the stainless steel tank. The best way to look after a barrel as the wine absorbs into the staves, it's very difficult to clean. So the best way to look after a barrel is just to keep it full of wine. So the wine would only be in tank for about a month before returning the blend back to a carefully selected batch of barrels. So at this point, if I get a feeling that maybe a little bit more oak or more tannins are being absorbed into the wine that I initially thought, I would maybe select barrels that are slightly older, that don't give as much intensity of oak. So as barrels are brand new, where they would be most intense on the wine, they would give a lot more oak, a lot of tannins, and as the years go by, as you keep reusing these barrels, they would give less oak, less toastiness and less tannins into the wine. So that's a very careful selection of the final stages of aging. So the barrels in our cellar, the oldest barrel would be about 12 years old. So the new barrels we'd tend to use for Cabernet Sauvignon, for the more structured wines, the wines that have more dry tannins that need a little bit more fleshing out. So for the first 4 to 5 years of a barrel's life, it would be sitting in the Cabernet wines, and then after that they would move across to Shiraz, to Mourvedre, to the more sort of Mediterranean varietals where we don't want to see too much new wood. At Waterford we use barrels for about 12 years before they get replenished with brand new barrels into the cellar.